when you have so many dragons that encapsulate this story, each one has to feel different. And that comes down to the visual effects team working at their very best. Tom and Dottie come fully prepared. They have all the tools, they've done all the prep work.
Everything's really stepped up season to season. You can see the actual character of the dragon really come to life.
And if you believe that character and that performance, then it all becomes much more real. With each season, we look at it and we try and improve what we did on the previous one. I mean, we're building on the work that was done in Game of Thrones.
Sheepstealer was unique in the sense it was the first wild dragon that we introduced in the show.
Sheepstealer has a very prominent role on the season, and we got to have a lot of fun with him.
Whereas all the other dragons feel like these sculptures, these works of art, Sheepstealer feels like something that was hatched in a volcano. Which he was.
So Sheepstealer is introduced at the end of season 2, but really becomes a fully fleshed out character this season. Ryan wanted him to feel particularly wild, so he's very horny and scaly. He has vitiligo, so he's got these white patches all over his skin. He's got a slightly disfigured jaw with a massive underbite. I mean, he's almost like one of those kind of deep sea creatures. The challenge with a character like this is you develop this look, but then to give him an emotional range, like not just have him be the grumpy character that you might associate with that look. Is he a villain? Is he a hero? We're not quite sure, as with a lot of characters on our show, but with all the danger that comes with him, you still want to kind of build some kind of empathy with him.
It's a wild dragon, so there was no saddle. We had to be really cognitive of the fact that we had needed to get a human being on top of that dragon, but we wanted this spiky, really unwelcoming back.
After completing the dragon design, we posed Rhaena on the back, adjusting some of the spikes so that there would be a not too obvious but convenient lessening of spikes where she could sit and spikes she could hold on to. And then we built a 3D model of what that piece would look like and gave that to Waldo.
I worked with Waldo and his team. We talked about the issues that I had had with seeing a bareback dragon rider and how do we make that credible and believable.
So Sheepstealer took us about 3 months. The buck is usually a saddle that the actor sits on, but because there's no saddle on Sheepstealer, we had to make a whole section of his back with all the horns and everything to hold on to, which was a bit of a challenge because it's quite a big piece that she has to climb on. They want to see Rhaena mounting and dismounting, so we had to have a big enough area for her to actually interact with all the horns that are on the back of Sheepstealer, and then a couple to hang on to while she's riding.
This with the dress, isn't it?
Yes, the dress and jacket.
Yeah.
So then... Oh my God. So this is the thing, right? The buck is the best kept secret on set. And also because I hadn't seen one before, I sort of assumed everyone's looked like mine. They don't. It just feels as real as it could. So props to our team for doing that.
We have an idea of what the dragon is through this process, like with the designers, and then we have the script that tells us what's happening with the dragon, and then the actors come on board, but it's not really until we see the dragon in the edit and we see the performance and how that performance of the actor kind of bounces to the dragon, that the actual character of the dragon really comes to life.
And there's a lot of faith from the cast as well. Like, you know, they're like, this is going to work, right? It's like, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Sheepstealer's there.
Yep.
Sea smoke. Sea smoke.
It's ahead.
Yeah. And
Here,
where is
Cyrex
is over.
Yeah.
It's really great to see how the integration works in post-production because that entire section of the dragon is real. Phoebe is sitting between vertebrae in this little natural nest on the back of the dragon. It really does sell the idea of Rhaena has claimed an entirely different kind of dragon to all the ones we're used to seeing in this show.
More of this, please.
Yeah.
Please, thanks. Thanks, guys. It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Cesarion is Darren's dragon, the Blue Queen. She's a juvenile dragon, very stately and reserved.
She's one of the smallest dragons in Westeros, but she's very beautiful, and Darren's very fond of her as she's a reminder of King's Landing, but also just one of the only kind of intimate relationships he has, aside from Ormond and Gwaine. The visual effects department showed me some amazing artwork to get a sense of how large the creature is, what the creature looked like.
We saw Tessarion right at the end of season 2. What distinguishes Tessarion from the others is mainly the color palette. It's always tricky with very strong, vivid colors like cobalt blue and copper to make them feel real. It's basically just trying to find something that reads as those colors, but also maybe just blends in a little bit more naturally to the environment. I think it's always easier to sell as being photoreal, very vivid colors like this on smaller creatures. The bigger they get, the trickier it is to believe that kind of a color palette just from our relationship with nature. It's very important that we present something to the audience that they relate to from how they imagined it, from a description like the Blue Queen from the lore. She is fairly docile. She's still finding herself as a juvenile adolescent dragon. We introduce her as being curious and inquisitive like you'd expect a juvenile to be, but then in a certain moment, in a certain scene, you can just have it flip and you see the real nature of a dragon and what they can do.
She is undoubtedly smaller than Silverwing, Vermithor, and Caraxes are, but she's a dragon. She's a nuclear weapon in her own right, and I think will have a great role to play in this story.
Ready and action.
We know Dreamfire exists. I mean, she's been mentioned in the show and certainly exists in the lore of the show. She lives in the dragon pit. She's Helena's dragon.
Helena can connect with creatures and animals. If we think of Dreamfire as just like a huge bug, it's like such a nice thing that she gets to like almost be held by something rather than always fiddling with these tiny little things. There's like a big one that can kind of hug her back. Too sad.
Dreamfire plays a big role in the series and certainly in the history of the Targaryens, so we did want to tease the dragon's existence.
So this is Dreamfire, and it's the first time we've seen this dragon in our show. It's always great to bring a new dragon to the screen. She is kind of a regal dragon. She's pink, purple, which is a tricky thing to kind of make look photoreal. So these are just kind of sketch developments of Dreamfire. So we're starting to work with the horns, you know, trying to make her feel a little bit different. This is the jaw progression, figuring out whether like a more prominent jutting jaw would be interesting, but ultimately we ended up with something a bit more graceful.
The dragon saddles really ground dragon riding in a great way. Putting the real saddle form between the rider and the dragon really helps sell that fantasy to the audience.
So this is a bit different to all the other saddles. If you sort of look, a lot of them have a feel, and you can sort of see which families and where they come from. This is Dreamfire from a dream sequence, and as you can see, the artwork is much more vibrant. It's moth/butterfly-esque in some ways. So originally with this one, we were going to sort of all these panels underneath. This was all sculpted and then 3D printed. And then as we're looking at it, you know, obviously we have feedback from, you know, art director Claire coming in. She's like, let's have this done all in leather. But yeah, as you can see, the embroidery really pops with it. Trying to actually get everything in the right place according to the concept art, but not trashing the buck underneath for all the other ones to fit onto it. Because since you build something for one and then modify it for the others, there's a lot of engineering which goes into making these.
For us, they actually do come alive. I mean, they are living creatures to us. They have real personalities, and Dadi goes through a really detailed performance process with the dragons, so to really understand who they are. So yeah, I mean, for us, it doesn't matter that once they're born, they're real. They're there, you know.